You know, it's kind of crazy. I always have productive years, but 23 was a completely different level of productivity for me. As I was sitting here reflecting and planning for 24, I can't help but share everything that happened in my 2023. I guess do a wrap-up video for you. To summarize, I did 37 YouTube videos, which is actually the lowest amount that I've ever done since starting YouTube, but it's still a respectable number. In this year, I've started 2 brand new businesses. Well, really 3 if you include rental property, which actually I do. Rental property is a business all in itself. So I started 3 brand new businesses this year. That's in addition to the 2 businesses that I already have established, which is Wilker Do's, my content creation business, and then the Woodshed, which is the manufacturing business that I started in 2020. I also attended 9 different events that included travel. That's the broad strokes of my 23. Now I'm gonna break it down and get into the details on each one of those groupings. This is gonna take me forever because I get distracted by my adorable chickens. Let's talk about all of the things that I built and completed project-wise in 23. Inside my house, I updated the railing in my living room. This was very outdated, so I simply got it in my head at, I think, 4 p.m. one day where I was just kind of having a bad day, needing something to demo on demoing these and upgrading it to something sleek and modern. Then I built a liquor cabinet that I've actually been wanting for quite a while. One where all of the bottles are completely hidden whenever not in use, but then at a simple press of a button, the shelf lifts up and exposes the bottles. There's also a few doors on it that can hold and organize glasses and mixers and such. I completely 180'd a guest bedroom of mine to where I painted the walls, giving it a fresh feel, and then also ripped up the carpet and laid down new flooring. This is now an office. And then probably the most intimidating one that I tackled this year was replacing my AC unit. This is the central air and heating unit. It turned out to be just fine, so I feel really proud about that one. And I also saved myself thousands of dollars by doing the unit myself rather than outsourcing it. Then looking at all the projects that I did around my place outside of my house, I did some compost bins outside of my garden, which have been incredibly useful for not only getting rid of scraps from my table, but also being right next to the garden, being able to feed right into the garden. I built a greenhouse in preparation for winter this year. Wait, I should have like a war cry, not giggles. 3, 2, 1. There should be a greenhouse moving competition. It worked! It worked! Wait, did it work? Am I stuck on something? We had a crazy hot summer, so I built the entire thing inside my shop so that I could have the comfort of the AC, then came up with a plan to move it outside after. This was just as much fun as building the thing itself. A cute little pergola that I could either have a hammock to lay in or remove the hammock and have some chairs for a more social setting. This required me to get rid of the old original chicken coop I built myself because I actually wanted to upgrade my flock to many more chickens, and so I built myself a chicken mansion instead. Then, as always, I picked a new area on my property in order to cover up all of the caliche and the rock, and I planted grass instead. This entails me bringing in a bunch of dirt, leveling it out, tilling it up so it's nice and fluffy, planting grass seed, and then sowing it in and making sure to water it until the grass starts to take root and grow. Since I have so much land, every year I just pick one additional section in order to overhaul. And now that I've been here for a while, quite a few sections have grass growing instead of just rocks. Last Last year, I did a ton of projects over at my parents' house, but this year they're pretty well set up, and I've only done one project, which was my mom wanted a shop all to herself, and so I ran power from my dad's shop, which I renovated last year, and ran it to the building, which my dad then turned into her shop. Every year I do a big project, and this year's series was me building a deck onto my existing porch. This was so much fun. There was not only a lot of things that went into building the deck itself, but there was also a lot of lead up to it that improved my space that I did off camera, such as I have 2 stories with matching railing, and since I was going to be updating the railing on the bottom, I needed to go through and replace all of the railing on the top so that at the end in the reveal everything would match. And so not only did all of the railing on the top story get replaced, but then the deck started getting built on the bottom. Of course, starting with framing. Then decking the top side. One side of the deck is quite a bit higher than the other side and needed a set of stairs to ascend and descend. All of the railing that I was telling you about that I wanted to match, which completely updated the look of the house, by the way. Oh yeah, and I painted my house blue. So that was another thing that I just did in my free time. I incorporated what we in Texas call a cowboy pool, which is a stock tank pool, in the deck build. Placed a stone veneer on the front side in order to give it an outstanding pop-out look. Skirted the entire underside of the deck. And then also gave it a coat of stain. I decided to add a boardwalk onto it, again just to descend down to a different tier of land, a little bit easier, and then got into a whole bunch of storage. I made one side of the deck an area that I call a tee box because it was always my intention to hit golf balls off this portion to a set of targets out onto my land. Well, I made this whole portion waterproof so that I could utilize the underside to store my zero-turn mower. I really wanted to overhaul my garage this year, and a step towards that was getting the mower out of my garage and somewhere else. So I decided to build 2 giant doors onto the end so that I can not only store my mower down here, but also a whole other slew of things. I also incorporated 2 drawers that I also made waterproof above it so that I could store my longer tools such as weed eaters or shovels. After getting completely done with the deck, I then built a porch swing for it so that I could sit there and swing off the deck. And then if the hitting golf balls off the deck wasn't enough, then I decided, what if I could shoot trap off of it as well? So I added in an automatic opening and closing door. Well, it's not automatic, it's with a remote, to where I store the trap launcher underneath the deck, and then I can stand on top of the deck and shoot. By the way, in the future, I'm totally gonna open this up to a slew of other things such as archery, so stay tuned for 24. There was a lot of projects associated with the deck, but I believe that wraps it up. And of course, I have videos on all of these projects if you guys want to check it out. Another thing that I did was completely overhaul my garage. My garage has been kind of a catch-all for the last 2 years, and it's been driving me insane. And I've been trying to slowly turn it into a tinkering workshop for me. But this year, I just set my feet in and got to it. So I completely 180'd this space as well. It feels so wonderful being in a space that is highly organized and things have a home to go to after I'm done using them. And then the last grouping of projects that I did that also talks about one of the businesses that I started brand new this year is building Divit, which is an indoor golf simulator business of mine. I renovated the retail section of the Woodshed, which is the manufacturing shop I started back in 2020. I wanted to kill off the retail section and only keep the shop. And clearing out the space in the first place was a huge project in itself, which entailed painting the ceiling and building out the bays. Separating what should be a quiet environment for golfers from the loud, noisy environment of the woodshed next door. And then, of course, all of the finish work, which was hanging the curtains and laying down the flooring and installing all of the technology, making it an entertainment space. It was a ton of work, but I absolutely love it. I opened officially in August.
Play golf.
Divit is one of the businesses that I started in 2023. The second business was Etsy. I decided this year to start an Etsy business and see if it could be a viable thing all in itself. And it turns out it can. I designed and prototyped and then produced 8 different unique products in order to give it a try. And honestly, I've been having so much fun with this one, so I'm definitely gonna continue this one in 24. So now I'm going into 24 with 4 businesses established. I have Wilker Do's, which is my content creation, woodshed, manufacturing, Divit's, the indoor golf sim, and then 4 is Etsy, selling products online. Right now I'm staying within the golfing product niche, but who knows where it's going to expand to. And then, since I'm going to go ahead and consider it a business, the third business that I started in 23 was rental property. I actually ended up buying 12 acres out in Florida that has a house and 2 cottages and a shop on it, and then I rented all of that out. It's really convenient because it's right down the road from my brother and my cute little nephews. So what I did is I ended up going out there for, I think, a week, maybe a little bit over, with my mom, and then I just turned and burned and did a lot of things out there, doing a little roof touch-up and cabinets and caulking shower joints, definitely a ton of landscaping. The exciting thing about this piece of property is that not only is it down the road from my family, but there's 10.5 acres there that I can develop into something should I want to. And who knows where that's gonna go. Maybe it's gonna be an RV park or another Divot, or maybe it's just gonna be more little cabins. So stay tuned for when inspiration strikes and I go after something there. So that covers the projects that I did and the businesses that I established. Then this year was also, you know, it wasn't full of travel. I've really cut back on travel, but still, I attended 9 different events, 4 of which I was the keynote speaker at, which just warms my heart. One was actually to teenagers thinking about going into the trades, and that one was amazing. 4 were just fun events where I got together with a collection of friends at different ones, and I wasn't there for work. I was just there for laughs and relaxing. And then 1 I actually coupled together. I was invited to Australia in order to attend an event called Wood Dust that turned out to be amazing. But then the trip, I stayed on for an additional week and a half, and just toured around the country. And it was one magical experience after another. I've always appreciated nature, but being in the rainforest and exploring the reef it just puts a whole new level to it. Holding a koala. Australia was absolutely a high point of my year. So for the last 2 years, I have been going through the planning and permitting process of developing a 10-acre RV park here in the Hill Country, and it is just a long process. But this year, I finally got my final permit for me to full blow 100% ahead. And so I have started trenching, land clearing, road building, and the RV park is underway. It's going to be called Pure Stoke, so if you're ever in the Hill Country and an RVer, then absolutely come and check it out. I'll tell you the cool story behind the name later on. Be looking for videos in 24 on that, because it's going to be a main focus of mine in order to get up and running, hopefully by the summertime. But of course, I can't just stick to one thing, especially with all of these new things started and that are going to continue to run in 24. In the building realm of 24, I am currently planning to do a library loft in my living room, which is something I've wanted to do since buying this house, honestly. I'm hoping to squeeze it in 24, but we'll see. Another thing that I'm considering doing is a big outdoor meditation, self-healing spa thing, to where I do a sauna and a cold plunge and a gym and a meditation and a laser room. Who knows where 24 is actually going to take me. I always start a year with general plans, but then I allow the year to just start growing its own legs and running in the direction that it wants to. So it'll be interesting in order to check in with y'all at the end of 24 and see what transpired. I don't plan on going as hard in 24 as I did in 23, but you know, I've been known to say that too. I hope that if you're watching this and if you're struggling with, I don't know, finding motivation or inspiration to execute the things that you're setting out to do, then my main advice is to make sure that you're putting effort into it. So many people, of course, have ideas, but it's executing them that they fall short on. And it's just like anything else. You have to practice it. You have to put effort into it, and then you have to practice until it becomes second nature, until the natural motivation completely takes over and you can't think of anything else. Make yourself put 15 minutes a day into moving something forward, execute on something. Then if you're able to spend 30 minutes or an hour or 3 hours into it, then all the better. And before you know it, if you do that, you'll be amazed at how much can get done, at how much you'll get done. It might not be this huge list of things that I just listed off in this video, but keep in mind that 10 years ago when I started all of this, my list wasn't this large either. I have now been doing this year after year and putting so much effort and practice into it that I'm not doing it by myself anymore. I have a huge team who I cannot thank enough in place in order to help me achieve these things. And it's so second nature to me that I have so much natural motivation that has gripped me that I don't have to force myself to get started on it. All right, guys, I'm gonna hang out with my chickens in the sunlight. If you want to watch any of the projects that I have talked about, then you can absolutely find them on YouTube. And then you can always follow me on Instagram if you want to see what I'm up to in real time, because I definitely give more information over there than I do on YouTube. Let's see if I can do my wave from my weird chicken lap from my phone. You guys have a rockin' 2024. I sit out here with my chickens and try to wrap up my 2023. Hi. This is Zig. This is Sugar. That's Shotgun. That's Mellow. I haven't named that fluffy white one. This is Kip. Aw, Zig, you're so cute. Sugar, come here. Why are you squeaking? And then, what, baby? I know. Y'all are so precious. Can y'all even see them? Like, how stinking cute. This is the best way to record. Look at her back there. Do you see her? Oh, all right. Where was I?